Hey, Gabby, come here. I'm going to do the mystery school. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Psychic Frank's Mystery School and the last one of 2020. And I did something different yesterday for the YouTube fans of the show. Supporters of the show is a better way of putting it, I guess. Uh, yeah, because I see a lot of my friends, people I feel are my friends on YouTube who have shows, so I, watch them so much I feel like I know them. And I think that's how people feel about me, but that's another story. They do little shows, and a lot of people over the years have said, if you did like a 15-minute show, Frank. So I did one. I did a little. Gabby and I did a 15-minute show yesterday, and I got some nice support from that, and nice feedback for that. So yeah, those of you who aren't in San Francisco and watch me on cable access TV, um, SF Commons. Yeah, yeah. Don't give up the hope about getting our. Don't give up hope, SF Commons people. If you're watching, 11 years ago we were dealt a bad hand. Um, Comcast pulled the plug on our shows being tagged. You pick up your remote control and you look at it, and it says instead of Psychic Frank's Mystery School or Richard Rants or whatever, you'll see local listings. It wasn't like that for long from the gate. Part of the whole cable access experience was, people who couldn't get on mainstream. That's why it was created. They have a whole little saying in the front of the Bay back office, and I wish they would all reread that actually. And anyway, and everybody thinks, well, it's been 11 years now, it's never going to happen. No, no, don't defeat. Einstein said, I'm not bright, I just stick with things longer. I have a lot of Taurus in my chart, so I stick with things. And especially a wrong that needs to be righted, so all my fellow season's greetings to all my fellow SF Commons producers. I love you all. I feel like you're the family I miss so much, and I have faith we'll all be back in the studio again. Yeah, things are the pendulum always swings the other way. So anyway, I did a show yesterday. It's on YouTube. And yeah, so I'm saying to my SF Commons friends, don't think it's over and done with, and Comcast is never going to do the right thing. What they did was wrong, and it's going to be righted. I think this year with racism, obviously, especially the corporations are evil. Evil by nature. That's not me just calling names. Teddy Roosevelt said, I have it written down here somewhere in his 1900 something address there, about the innate evil in corporations must be, and now they're out of control. Yeah, that brings me to the pharmaceutical industry, and I started my show yesterday saying, so it's a new day, Frank, be here now. Yeah, getting old is a privilege denied to many, but you never know it by watching the TV ads. To them, pushing drugs on us is our only worth. Yeah, Gabby. Ain't that some crap, huh? Ain't that some shit? So anyway, to them, pushing drugs on us is our only worth. That's Dr. Larry Dossey said. Yeah, it is what happened a while back, and it's America's the only country that does it outside of New Zealand. I don't know why New Zealand does it, but it's called direct-to-consumer pharmacy ads, and it's wrong. That's what I'm saying. The whole medical profession needs to get mind into the equation, mind, body, spirit, and mind has been sorely missed forever. It's funny, 2020's Andy, and I was thinking, wow, there was 2020, never. And to have a perfect, a lot of times you have to work with the numbers to get 2020, like 19, 18 something, to get a 2020 year. This is like a blind person could read 2020 year. It's 2020. So we're getting hindsight at least for the last 200 years. And what happened just last night at 9 something, Saturn left Capricorn and entered Aquarius, and which is so beautiful. I feel it. I'm feeling it. Right, Gabby? Oh, she's coming down. She'll be here in a little while. She's become a real ham. You can stick cloves in her. She's become a. Yes, you are. You're a star, darling. Yeah, my African Maya parrot. She's 28 years old. By the way, if you're just watching me for the first time, I'm a healer. I'm a psychic healer. I'm not on an ego trip. Energy comes through me and things happen. You know? And good things, good things. Like how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulbs really, 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 really gotta want to change. Yeah, we gotta make some changes now. Einstein said, we shall require a substantial new manner of thinking if humanity is to survive. He said that in 1932. So, yeah, and as I said, yeah, so too bad that, you know, I said to a friend once, what happened to the Great Panthers? And he said they died, Frank. They died. Yeah, you know. So as I said, corporations, we got to get. You know, I'm making some kind of levity of it, but it's like people are dying. You know, it's not funny. You know, watch these pharmaceutical ads. They're especially the endings. I mean, it's horrendous that they always have the actors say, I've got." Yeah, you got it, honey. Get used to it because you're going to have it for a long time. Don't own it. Always refer to it as the, you know, or whatever, it. Like I refer to Donald Trump as it, you know, when it's out of the office, you know. Emerson said the religion of one age is the literary entertainment of the next. Well, as I said, I did this. These are the notes from yesterday's show. But being this is a new audience, this is my 52 minutes twice a month show at SF Commons still, and I know my audience here in San Francisco, and I want you all to be. I've probably mentioned this over the years. Yes, darling Gabby, come over here. Come over here right now. Yeah, Yogananda. That deserves a ring of the bell. Bless you, Yogananda. Oh, for everybody, especially those psychically gifted, you know, I was going to say psychically gifted, but we're all psychically gifted. We're waking up to it now, and it's blowing our minds because it's nonstop contemporary mystical experiences, and you want to like share it with somebody, but it's a very personal thing. It's like, you know, as I heard somebody say once, it was like trying to reheat the best cup of coffee you ever had. You know, you just got to be with the moment. See, we always want to, you know, attachment to it. You know, we always want to be attached to the moment. You know, we just are, you know, we're just born. We always want these. Enjoyment is different from attachment. Enjoyment is in the moment. Attachment seeks continuation of the moment. Relax. Be present in the moment. Use each moment, each arising as a means of returning to instant presence that rests on nothing. The infinite ground of being is always there for us. Look where 26 degrees Capricorn is in your chart. The Chariclo, the wounded healer, Chiron's wife of 900 years, represents how she contains a reservoir of compassion, wisdom, devotion, discernment, and a powerful presence of wisdom, devotion, discernment, and a powerful. Being dutiful, consistent, supportive, forbearing, kindly, and nurturing. To summarize, Chariclo strengthens the ability to bear with you, hold appropriate boundaries, abide with, create sacred space. See, we need our sacred space. Accompany and witness deep transitions. America's going into a 7-year. The United States of America, 2025, 2021 is 5, 5 and 11, 5, 6, 7. United States of America's day and month, the 4th of July. I'm doing math on my invisible chalkboard here. Okay, so we're going into a wisdom year. And Yogananda said, don't depend on death to liberate you from imperfections or character defects. When you are exactly the same after death as you were before. Nothing changes except you give up the body. If you were a thief or a liar or a cheat before death, you don't become an angel merely by dying. If such were possible, then let us all go jump in the ocean and become angels at once. Whatever you have made of yourself thus far. That's why people get educated right up until their 90s. They're still taking courses and learning, you know. I don't believe in degrees, though. Thermometers have degrees, and look where they stick them, you know. Einstein say imagination is the best knowledge. Whatever you have made of yourself thus far, so will you be in the hereafter. And when you reincarnate, you will bring that same nature with you. To change, you have to make effort. This planet Earth is the place to do it, not the moon. We're as far out of space as we're ever going to get. And extraterrestrials. Oh yeah, there's already extraterrestrial involvement on this planet. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Worry is a misuse of imagination, a dark room where negatives develop. When you do things from the soul, you feel a river moving through you. We're all feeling that, I think. Oh yeah, and next week on the 19th, um, Jupiter leaves Capricorn and enters Aquarius. That's only a 1 year thing, but then but we literally are going into, like, it's been 200 years of Earth dominant with a little break with air and yeah, air but it's mostly Earth for 200 years, and now it's air for 200 years. It's everybody's giggly excited, and be that way, Yeah, and keep in mind now we're in the midst. People are dying. Someone dies now. I think it's every minute someone's dying in America. This epidemic is out of control. Well, as I said, no editorials, just the facts, ma'am. Okay, real relaxation and serenity comes from a sense of the fundamental goodness of the universe, like Hawkins said, and that reincarnation of Carl Sagan, that charismatic guy who's bought and sold for by the scientific community, which took a wrong turn and kept going. They believe if extraterrestrial life exists, they exist for one sole purpose: to eat us. God have mercy. It's like, oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Without that feeling of love, and without the faith and conviction that life in us is unobstructed, all the healing techniques of science are of little avail. So don't give your power away to the virus or anything else. Don't give science your power. Life in me is uninterrupted. As I said, I had an experience. Oh yeah, if anybody's noticing, I had a real healing, and healing involves pain. But I've been working for many years, the last 3 years, on anger. I mean, I've been working on my anger as a character defect, hanging on to anger. Would someone say, hanging on anger is a vessel of acid, and when you it hurts the person, the vessel, and it just the pore. Oh, let me get it right. It's now I messed it up. It was the whole thing about anger is a vessel of acid, and the poorer and the poorer. Uh, it's on the same page where forgiveness is the fragrance that the flower gives to the heel who crushed it. So bear with me here now. Well, here's another good one. I'm glad I opened this. I don't want this to be my last year of the show to end without this one. The biggest success in the war on terror has been its ability to distract the nation from the corporate war on us. I heard this woman on a good show the other day saying that, let's face it, the only success of the President Obama election was that was it. Thanks to the GOP, nothing, and Mitch McConnell now. He's been 12 years. He's been running America. So, although we'd like to think all these things were accomplished, the only accomplishment of the President Obama era was simply his election. Excuse me. Oh, that was a telemarketer. I could tell right off the bat. Okay, so let me get this out of the way now. Everything. Okay. John Lennon said, "Time wounds, all heals." This is a good one. A Chinese proverb says, "The person who says it cannot be done should not be interrupted by the person doing it." And never forget 3 types of people in your life. 1, who helped you in difficult times. 2, who left you in difficult times. And 3, who put you in difficult times. That needs to be on a needle point. Uh, love is being stupid together, right, Gabby? We're in love. We're in love. Okay, I can't. Okay, worry is a misuse of imagination. Okay, that's not it. Maybe this could be it. Oh yeah, Leonardo da Vinci said everything connects to everything. White America, he didn't say this. Underneath it, I wrote, white America couldn't handle what black America deals with every day. Yeah, yeah. They say that oh yeah, I'm glad I opened this book. See how it works. They say and those of you who watched my video, that 15-minute video, you're probably hearing this again. But that's okay because a lot of people haven't heard it. Right, Gabby, honey? Come here, baby. Come here, talk to me. Okay, they say that patriotism is the last refuge to which the scoundrel clings. That warms my heart. Steal a little and they throw you in jail. Steal a lot and they make you king. Bobby Dylan said that. You want to tear down monuments to racism, we should start with the prisons. Yeah. Every thought, every action creates vibrations through this infinite field of consciousness. Be mindful of your thoughts and motivations, for their effects are far more potential, more potent than you realize. Oh yeah, there are worse things that can happen to men than death. Yeah, just look at Donald Trump. Amen, huh? Oh, I like Plato. I found a Plato thing. I stuck it here so I wouldn't forget to share it with y'all. Plato said, how could they see anything but the shadows if they were never allowed to move their heads? Well, as I said, around 40 years ago, I was doing something on Nob Hill and at the Masonic Oratory, and there was a lecture, and I ended up for $5 or $10 sitting in the back row, and this person was talking about where we are now, the age of Aquarius. We're at the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Well, it's coming, honey. By 2023, it'll have totally arrived when Pluto enters Aquarius. It's going to be a whole new paradigm. Amen. Hallelujah. There are worse things now. Allen Ginsberg said, follow your inner moonlight. Don't hide the madness. My last show, I talked about that. I found a nice old book I put together. It's made all of Tibetan paper. I don't know how they pound this stuff back, but here's a little. I made a big face here. I think it's me with the beard. Oh my God. I did this like 10 years ago or something. Just make sure that on a personal level you stay in touch with who you are and don't become a doormat for those who are not in touch with their true selves. Woo! Try that one on for size, huh? There's so much more to a book than just reading. I love this one. I'm not obsessed with angels, but I do adore the angels. I refuse to lie to children. Yeah. Uh, art. Oh yeah, it dawned on me that art was the only way to survive. Okay, well that's about it. I just saw that out of this book, and I thought it would be. Yeah, don't forget Dr. Moore. I think it'd be the last show of the year for me. I'm not going anywhere, but 2020. When in Rome, do as the Romans. So on New Year's Day we enter numerology changes, but a lot of us old souls don't remember January 1st as anything but the winter solstice time. Spring is the new year. So what happens is there's this overlapping. Technically, as I said, America is going from a 6, make adjustments, into a 7, wisdom. And wisdom comes through pain. Love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. Dr. Martin Luther King said that. Oh, his spirit is much more, just as alive as when he was. Just be open to it. I'm from the 60s. I'm in my 70s, and I'm a Motown, everything good in me. I've said many times is from Motown. Me is everything good in me, and I see these Trump supporters, who literally gave their heart to this man. They've been conned. They didn't have that New York savvy that we, New Yorkers know. He's just 3-card Monty. Bait and switch. You want this Rolex, and then when you get it home, it's It's made of, it's not a Rolex, you know, but and I was thinking of, I think it was by the Crystals or some old Motown group, a girl band, and it was called "I Sold My Heart to the Junk Man." I sold my heart to the junk man. I gave my heart to you, someone I trusted. You gave it back to me, all broken and busted. Google it up. It's a great song. I sold my heart to the junk man. I just want to get up and dance, you know. So I was in the kitchen as they washing dishes, and I had just watched these Trump people, rallying in New York City, still thinking they're going to steal the election, uh, and uh, and then I changed the channel for Gabby, put on the music, the jazz station from my cool chick, and then I went in the kitchen and I started humming that song. And then I started laughing. I mean, that song. It was '59 or something. That's like an old song. That was like 19, not even the '60s, the early '60s. There, maybe it was the Marvelettes. I don't know, but it's a great song. I sold my heart to the junk man. But as I said, you got to break the heart a few times for it to open, you know. That's why I say if they blow up the Earth, we'll end up on another planet similar, you know. Louise Hay, my mentor, rest her soul, used to sit in front of Fort Mason, hundreds of people, and she would start off a lot of times talking about how everything has to be precisely just right. You know, a few degrees too more, a centimeter more here or there. Earth is just so properly placed and conditions are just right. And we have this thin little ozone layer, which now it was coming back. It was blowing the scientist's mind under Obama. So I guess that was one of his accomplishments. But he, in just a few years, that was noticeable. Ozone layer was getting a lot thicker. And now, oh my God, the time's running out. We had, as I said, just a couple of months ago in San Francisco from the fires, winds. This is what happened to Mars. This is what happened to Venus. There was life on all these planets, but as I said, if we do, worst happens. I always just say to myself, "Well, Frank, if the worst happens, what's going to happen?" I always have a plan B or something. Well, it'll just be our souls will just find another just like Earth, just the right conditions. The universe, this universe is countless vast. Just admitted nothing is the best way to start the day. Just wipe the slate clean. I'm going to learn something today. How can I have been so stupid not to love the universe but fear it? That's me. The old me. A dreamer is one who can only find her way in the moonlight. Moonlight, man, use it. Uh, from Letitia James. Oh yeah, the numerology. Okay, take it easy. Calm down, Frank. Oh, look who's here. It's Gabriella. Hey, Gabby Hayes. How about a kiss? Give me a little kiss. Thank you. Okay. The big thing is January 5th. Letitia James is the Attorney General of Georgia. No, of New York City. She's. I'm going to talk about the Georgia election on January 5th. That's important. Okay, but Letitia James, after January 20th, they're all like, they've got 70 lawsuits. They were listing them down the other day. She was on The View. Whoopi Goldberg had to recite a few of them. And they had on the sign of, it's like, I don't think any mobster in America has that many blatant. It was like the grifters. The pirates took hold of the White House, and everything that wasn't nailed down, they stole everything. Oh my God, the crimes they've committed, it's going to be amazing. So Letitia James, she happens to be a woman of color, is holding Trump accountable. In January 20th, he loses presidential immunity. Excessively powerful Yeah, the conceited refuses to concede amid defeat, you know? Yeah, I wrote that underneath there. The conceited. Okay, so the numerology for um, January um, uh, 5th, I wrote it down. I'll do it again. Oh, where did I put it? Yeah, January. See, okay, if you have a pencil, if you're following this with me, January 5th, that's like when Georgia, we get rid of Mitch McConnell, or we get a woman in there who is all about all these anti-fascist, these fascist groups, Latifa, whatever they're called. I just said, I can't even remember all the, these KKKs. They're all white supremacist groups. So I mean, it's literally for the whole. Sure, Joe Biden can do something but if we don't get the Senate, it's going to be Obama all over again. These are, but it's not going to happen. But this is, like I say, just as even more to get the Senate now, and that's January 5th, 2021. So that's a 5 year. So universally, 5, 10, 11. See, 11 is very spiritual. 22, this 22 year we just had was all about making it real. 11 is all about being served the best meal in the worst restaurant, but 11 life paths, they're like, a lot of people now are totally spiritual. Religion, um, my church has been under attack, Mother Earth here, but that's another story. And for America, it's going to be a 7 year, and for Donald Trump, it's going to be a 7 year. I mean, the angels choreographed this right down, so it's going to be a very painful year. Many people could handle adversity. It's very few can handle when things go really well. Look at Prince. Look at all these successful people who just couldn't handle prosperity, success. I didn't mean to. It's not a racist thing. I don't be one of those people who say black people don't know how to. No, many. Look, Elvis. It goes on and on. A lot of people. It's I'm so defensive now. I don't want to. I love Prince and I miss him, and I just wish he had lived longer. I'm a selfish kind of guy. I still listen to his music, and I don't know. I've never had that problem. I've never had that. I've always lived from hand to mouth, and I do it well. I don't complain anymore. What's the use of it anyway? So 7, yeah, the United States. So on. January 1st, for the United States of America, we put 11 and 6 together and we get 6, 7, 8. That's a very powerful month. For the United States of America, we enter a 7 personal year. We're a 5 life path. If we add up July 4th, 1776, we get 5. And if we add up 2021, we get 5. So America's in its element this year, but it starts off with a powerful 8 vibration, power, efficiency, and it's really happening. And yeah, it really bothers me. I'm not on Facebook or any of these devices or tweets or anything, just the land phone. But on YouTube, I get all these videos on YouTube I love, and there was all about Budovich being the treasurer, big position, and I'm from a time when. My gay friends with rich parents were giving them lobotomies, putting them into mental hospitals, and coming out with vegetables. It was a horrible time. We were insane. It was a mental. It was we were better off dead. It was it was the worst thing was to have a gay child. It was men and women. Who were like myself. We went through, and it's like, wow, I lived this long, 72 years, man. Because this is 68 all over again on steroids, Because I said this is the end of all that 200 years of Earth, hard-ass Earth, male-dominated. And now Aquarius is all about the people. So you can't stand in a way of time. It'll march right over you. So you get out of our way. We're happening now. So this pivotal day for the United States of America, there's in Georgia now, this runoff election. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube or may not be living in America, you got to have heard that America is all about, we know that if this Georgia election, it's either the Klan rules another 4 years, oy vey, or so it starts off this year for the United States of America, and actually for Donald Trump, because June 14th, his birthday vibrates to 11. So isn't that interesting how the cosmos just choreographed this? So I think he's going to be part of the pain. He's going to be cause of all the heartbreak dead ahead. For a lot of these half of the population of the voting population, gave their heart to him. He's giving it back, all broken and busted. So we've got to start the year off. So January is at 8. 8 plus 5, it's going to be the 5th. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 4. It's going to be a 4 day. Beautiful. That's all about nurturing, mothering. It's a very nurturing number. And yeah. So that's the vibration for that. Let me see what else we got going on. Okay, and that's the numerology for the year. Oh yeah, I found it. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. I love rhymes. I'm a poet and I don't know it. My feet are long, fellow. No. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored. Whoever's hanging on to. See, that's what happened yesterday. It was like the end of all that Capricorn energy with Saturn. And they said, he's got to get the message now. Yeah, he's made his character defect, anger. As I said, unless you work on your character defects, that's why AA used to be so cool before it became a cult and they threw everything that's associated with Carl Jung out of their literature. And it was all about working on your character defects, which drove you to whatever substance you were abusing, alcohol, drugs, whatever. And now a lot of people are just stopped using, and it's like, as they said, if you were a horse thief, they used to say, if you were a horse thief before you got sober, you don't work on your character defects, you're going to be a sober horse thief, So we got a lot of people on a dry drunk or ex-speed freaks on a still using but not using. You know what I'm saying? Like a friend of mine who I sobered up with, who never worked on his character defects, and I said to him once, "How did your sponsor help let you get away with not working on you? That's the whole thing." And he laughed. He said, "Well, that's why you're my friend." And I just didn't say anything about it. But I said to myself, "Wow, he's been on a dry drunk all these years. That's why I couldn't put it together." And then I had this eureka moment, and out of respect for our long friendship, I just danced around. Every now and then, I'll dance around a lawn. Okay, drag your thoughts away from your troubles by the ears, by the heels, or any other way you can. By the way, before this video ends, Pam Gregory, if you're into astrology, Kathy Rose, they both write occasionally for the Mountain Astrologer, and they both have the best videos. Oh, but there's so many good videos on YouTube having to do with astrology. This woman from New Zealand, I just adore. She's there's so many Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Nothing in this world is more dangerous than scientific ignorance and conscientious stupidity." Boy, that's one word for, just the facts, ma'am. Okay, and this is so important. I'm going to repeat it again. Without the feeling of love and without the faith and conviction that life in us is unobstructed, all the healing techniques and science and vaccines, maybe you'll say that, but the right one don't get you, the left one will. You got to have this joy, this love of the universe, not this fear, not this. That's what's happening now. We'd be staring at the shadows. That was that thing on Nob Hill at Masonic Auditorium. The person said, we've been staring at the shadows intensely, and then all of a sudden we've got to turn around and say, look what's making the shadows. We. Oh, yeah, someday I hope we will spend as much money exploring inner space and the wonders of the human body as we are currently spending on exploring outer space. And the front page of Louise Hay book, I love it. It says, may these offerings help you find the place within you where you know your own self-worth. That place in you where you know your own self-worth. The part of you that is pure love and self-acceptance. That's why you in the morning, combing your hair, shaving, doing something to your face. Eyes are the window to the soul. Give yourself a soul. So, lovers come, lovers go, jobs come, jobs go, husbands, wives, kids. I'm going to be I'm your eternal friend through eternity. Come rain or come shine, I'm with you, baby. That's the most spiritual song for you. Ray Charles, I'm going to love you like nobody's loved you. Come rain or come shine. Yeah, I was adopted. I had a lot of abandonment issues, and heroin, seemed the only pain was so great, and luckily, it's been 50, 60 years, but it's like watching a film of somebody who looks like me doing these things, But I remember the first psychic reading I had. This woman who I ended up studying with for 4 years said, wow, what a colorful past. And then she said, wow, you jumped right in the abyss. Nobody told you. You didn't have to. You could have jumped over it. But then I started studying with the Tibetan monks decades later, and they're all about, oh, yeah, every abyss, jump in it. That's why you're here. Don't be afraid. You're going to survive your death. Everybody survives their death. Oh, God, there's such a great surprise for all of us on the other side. The Romans used to make these pastries at holidays with sweet centers to remind you death is a sweet surprise. Studies have validated that a positive imagery and other techniques, meditation, visualization, have a direct and powerful effect on survival. But people don't have a schooled imagination. They let their mind just go into these places, and I will listen to it. I go, don't you pollute my consciousness. Bye, clunk. Okay. Too often we excuse those who are willing to build their own lives on the shattered dreams of others. Oh, this is a good one. Hope is independent of the apparatus of logic. Well, it's crazy wisdom. It's pretzel logic. There's a book about crazy wisdom. I'm going to talk more about this. I've talked about it over the last 10 years on my San Francisco Here show, but it's a beautiful book. It was written when Kaysan, one of the DJs on Kaysan, what's his name? Nisker. Scoop Nisker. Kaysan was, Alan Watts used to be on there late at night. Oh, Kaysan was the best show in the 60s and early 70s here in San Francisco. And then, it's gone. Corporations. It went country and then corporations, Oh, yeah, Bernie Sanders said, the pharmaceutical industry is the biggest bunch of crooks in this country. Yeah, I mean, when we all wake up and realize how key the mind, body, spirit connection is, and we see what we've been living through with the TV set, where all of a sudden you're in a movie or something, and then this ad comes on, like this tragic kid. Like, if these people really want to cure cancer, we're feeding food. There's industries out of Ohio that are billion-dollar industries on food additive industries. As long as there is profit in war, the world will never know peace. Let's give peace a chance. Like John Lennon said, time wounds, all heals. I'm not wishing any Learning how to handle disappointments is key. It can end up with kidney failure if not yeah, that's not a way you want to exit. Yeah, kidneys are all about handling disappointments. I was told years ago, there's two people who can't handle disappointments: children and alcoholics. So when I get disappointments, oh, they come in bundles. I just laugh at them now and I go, I'm not a child, I'm not an alcoholic. This is happening for me, not to me. Uh, uh, okay, and what else did I pick up here? People who want a cure, provided they can have it without pain, are like those who favor progress, provided they can have it without change. So it's not like I'm, preparing you for pain or anything, but be prepared. Take response. Yeah, no matter what's going on, if you don't take responsibility for it, you're a victim, and victims don't heal. Yeah, we've been victimized, but listen, we've turned the other cheek. We know I'm not going to list all the atrocities. I'll tell you this funny story. We only got a few more minutes. I was watching PBS the other day, and this guy, a British author, he had a thick British accent, and his father lived to be 100, who was a famous British author. So he comes from generations. And his father's father had a picture of him. He looked like he lived in the Victorian era. So this was like the guy had writing books. He was a genius, and he said, and he was talking about Salman Rushdie, that guy that the Ayatollah, some Middle East for 10 years he had to hide. He was a wanted man because he wrote about the Islam or something, and they wanted him dead for that. They the head of the country and he had to go undercover for 10 years, and Rushdie there, but he's a genius. I love the guy. He's brilliant. I could listen to him forever. Anyway, so the two of them needed money, I guess, and they took this job doing the writing on this movie called Four Weddings and a Funeral. And then he, got the money and ran. And then a year later, he ran into someone who said to him, "Oh, congratulations on that movie you and Rushdie worked on." And he put his head down. And he said, "Oh, I'm so ashamed." He said, "Why? That's a hit in America." And he said, "What?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's won all the awards." And he said, "Didn't you know the world has bad taste?" And when you think about that, the Romans thought it was cool putting men and people in and cheering as the lions tore them limb from limb, and they, the world has always had bad taste. Well, that's going to change. That's going to change. We're going to stop these morons who've got more money than sense, who are billions, and we haven't earned our galactic presence until we clear up this earth. We're like, oh, they're in that stage. We're in that disease stage. Being symbolically literate, it's like blinding. As I said a couple of months ago, we had 2 days of no sun. And no night. It was like you couldn't tell 11 o'clock in the morning from 11 o'clock at night. And it was like this constant orangey, toxic. It wasn't even a pretty orange. It was like this dark, nasty orange, and then the next day it was like that, and I was thinking, this is what a nuclear winter be like. Only, I know I'm not insulting the intelligence, but there's this movie Idiocracy where the planet there is run by idiots, and their crops won't grow because they're watering them with Gatorade because it's got electrolytes. It's a funny movie. It's called Idiocracy, but sometimes to remind people the sun is important because plants grow with the sun. I mean, when you say it out loud, I feel like I want to slap myself, but, I don't think people understand that, or they just nuclear numb themselves. They don't understand. Like Jane Goodall said, when do we ever look back at agriculture and think it was a good thing to, poison our food? We've got, so instead of seeing these crippled kids on TV and all these hospitals wanting, these people shaking you down for money, and yet they're ignoring the cause of all these diseases is nutrition. We got to totally get rid of these food additives. It's not too late. to whip it into shape. I love you all. I love you. I'm going to pick some cards here. You think I'm going to leave you at the end of this year without the cards? Right, Gabby, honey? Okay. Let's see what my dearest citizens and friends, fellow citizens of this San Francisco, my favorite city, where the women are strong and the men are pretty. Okay, let's see what we have here. There's all you. I'm gonna pick it up. Oh, transformation now. Change. Change is a good thing. I think it was that famous Greek said you can't step into the same river twice. Somehow in our subconscious we were taught permanence is good, change is bad, and we had it bass backwards. We had it all wrong. Change is life. Everything changes. You don't die. You just the Tibetans have a joke. It's easier to die than it is to stay dead. There's no way you are not going to survive your death. But work on your character defects so you could incarnate in a higher frequency. See, right now we're entering the fifth frequency. We're leaving the dense third Capricorn. 200 years of third, the right one don't get you, the left one will. Kill them. They're going to kill you first. Dog eat dog world. That's going now. That's going. The blind leading the, okay. So what we have now is temperance. Learning. Mars is going to leave at 6 months in Aries in a couple of days, and it's going to go into Taurus back to 2 months. But in January, right around the inauguration, and that's once again, if I see it right, Georgia's going to win, and we're going to get McConnell's out. We're going to get a Democratic center, and Donald Trump on the 20th, when they have to turn. That's when we're going to see. That's when the shutters will come down. That's when the plywood will come down from the stores. There'll be some helter-skelter shit going on, but for the most part, now you got 1 foot in the subconscious, 1 foot in the conscious. You're a conduit for divine intervention. It's a beautiful card. Yeah, it's all about getting the lighting right here, huh? Okay, and what's surrounding us is the death. No, death. It's transformation. It's a beautiful card. The Chinese have a saying: "May you be born in." Fascinating times, interesting times. Well, that's an understatement. We're seeing paradigms change. No, there's Shirley MacLaine. I love her. Years ago, wrote all these books called "Out on a Limb," where they made a movie out of it, where she went down to Peru, and everybody in Mexico knows. America's dunce. So there's this movie where John Cusack says, "Why are you choosing to be obtuse?" I'd like to ask, why are these people choosing to be obtuse? Okay, before Enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Money, you can't take nothing with you when you go except your soul. On the other side of money, there's no money thing going on there. That's why learn art, learn a trade, learn something beautiful. Okay, here we are now. Yeah, the enlightened of us. Somebody said, are you asked one of my teachers, are you enlightened? His answer was, enlightened enough. I guess I could say that when people say, well, are you enlightened, Frank? Well, I'm enlightened enough. Okay, so I knew I was going to be a late bloomer, but that's another story. Yeah, this is, we've all suffered death. I don't think any one of us now, as I said, would drop in like flies. Okay, victory. This is beautiful. Yeah, spiritual victory. All right, Gabby, honey. Say hi. Yeah, here she is. There's the girl. Yes, I'm not in any pain. It was a real break. And because once I realized, okay, this was the last of that Capricorn energy with Saturn, telling you, if you don't deal with your anger, Frank, I'm not as much as a high. I used to, like most alcoholics, I was like, if you call split person, hairpin trigger, the least little thing pissed me off. But thank God I had important sponsors who had old good time sobriety, who taught me how, no, that's why you drank. Unless you get rid of that, you're never going to be happy. And I'm happy now. So, but I've come light years, but there was this one little thing I'm not going to get into it, but it started around 3 years ago when I was duped by an alcoholic that I didn't want to admit that they were an alcoholic because they dangled $1,000,000 in front of me and I was seduced by it. Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself. But hey, I won. Okay, we've all got to be congruent. Okay, this is important now because we only got 2 minutes left. When you wake up in the morning and you say life is wonderful, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, and then 2 hours later you're going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? That's being incongruent. You've got to be congruent with your thoughts. And your thoughts have actions. Don't throw your cigarette. You shouldn't be smoking cigarettes anyway, but don't throw your butts in the street from the creek to the... Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Oh, yeah, with Biden, we're going to have oh, yeah. Well, if Hillary had gotten in, her first thing was she thought it was vulgar that seniors are meant to survive on $1,000 a month. It's cruel, unusual punishment for vets, everybody. And now Joe Biden is definitely going to do right by us seniors because he is one of us. You know, when FDR died, at his funeral, it was out in the public. This one guy was crying hysterically, and a stranger was trying to console him. And he said, "Did you know the president?" And he said, "No, but he knew me." You know, that's what we had. You know, that's everything FDR did. Yeah, he was no saint, but everything he did, we came this close. We came, and grateful for that. It was an answered prayer. Of course, I'm not condoning all the dying that's still and the misery that's still going on, but for the most part, this was. I'm just blessed that I was able to live from this because all of my generation is gone. Very, very few of us left. I think, late 40s, the boomers like me. Okay, well. I'm filling you all up with the love and light of the Holy Spirit, one mind. Turn into the school of the night. Leave your troubles at the end of the bed. Surround yourself with the love and light of Mother, Father, God. And then ask for guidance. And then follow that guidance. I love you, and I'll see you next year. Namaste. Thank you. She just said thank you. Bye.